Breaking point. Nigel slammed France and the EU for failing prevent the dangerous crossings. Brexit. Britain must take back control of its borders to help solve the worsening cross-channel migrant crisis, Nigel Farage has warned. Writing in a newspaper, the former Brexit party leader slammed France and the EU for failing to lift a finger to prevent the dangerous crossings. And he challenged Brussels and French President Emmanuel Macron to agree to a summit, otherwise many lives will be lost and British communities will continue to suffer. The broadcaster said, "The more money we send to France, the greater the numbers that come. To resolve this, we need the French and Brussels to cooperate, but they refuse to lift a finger to help Brexit Britain." Nigel Farage said the only way to end the trade in smuggling people across the Channel is to deter migrants by showing they would be turned back at sea, or removed from the UK if they reached its shores. "Our only option is to put migrant boats under tow and return them to the safe country of France. Then our former EU partners would come to the negotiating table," he added. The number making the journey in small boats this year has exceeded 10,000, with 482 people alone crossing on Wednesday. Last year, it was reported that almost 300 migrants had died trying to cross the Channel since 1999. Mr. Farage hit out as the European Union was accused of playing politics with the migrant crisis by deliberately impeding progress on a potential deal with France. UK sources claim the European Commission is turning a blind eye to people dying by refusing to enter talks to allow Britain to send migrants who have crossed the Channel back to France. EU officials are understood to have insisted that the right to negotiate asylum and readmission agreement rests entirely with the bloc, and not individual member states. A Commission spokesman told the Sunday Telegraph that the post-Brexit trade agreement with the UK does not include provisions on asylum and return, and for the moment, our focus is on its implementation and we are not considering pursuing further negotiations to complement the agreement. A Tory source accused the Commission of turning a blind eye to people dying, while a government source suggested the issue had become embroiled in post-Brexit shenanigans. The Nationality and Borders Bill gives the border force powers to send migrants who have crossed the Channel back to France. But France has so far refused to agree to take back migrants. Last month, Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, and Gérald Darmanin, her French counterpart, signed an agreement which stated that both countries support the idea of a UK-EU readmission agreement to mutual advantage in terms of deterring illegal migration and tackling the criminal gangs. As members of the European Union, the unrestricted free movement of people changed the makeup of the UK. We were told in the referendum that 3 million EU citizens were living in the UK, to now discover that it is 6 million. As members, we could only return asylum seekers if they had first applied in another EU state. It is easy to see why we voted to take back control. The 2021 Channel migrant crisis is totally out of control, with 10,500 already having crossed the Channel and now being accommodated in 4-star hotels and private houses. The people on the Kent coast feel like they are living under invasion. Yet the more money we send to France, the greater the numbers that come. To resolve this, we need the French and Brussels to cooperate, but they refuse to lift a finger to help Brexit Britain. We are faced with obstruction from Brussels and the refusal of President Macron to hold an overdue summit. The EU has its own migrant crisis following the crazy decision in 2015 to allow anyone crossing the Mediterranean to stay. But we, as a now independent country, do not need to make the same mistake. If Brussels and Paris won't cooperate, then we need to force them to. Our only option is to put migrant boats under tow and return them to the safe country of France. Then our former EU partners would come to the negotiating table. If Brexit Britain does not get back control of its borders, there will be a heavy political price for Priti Patel and Boris Johnson to pay. Enough is enough.